There you are, little egg.
Baby's gone! Stolen egg! Stolen and gone! Help, 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 help! Ah! Transform! Not a chicky baby anymore! All gone! All gone for good!
She leaps up and grabs the egg with her foot, kicking it under her warm underbelly and settling down upon it contentedly.
Shh, little beaver baby, Mama's here, warm and here with you again.
She cocks a black eye up at you and winks.
Thank you. Ah! I have something for you. Something I buried behind the coop. It's yours. It's yours. Unless some other scratchily poker found it first, of course.
What's this? I found something.
You helped us. You brought the baby back. Ah!
Brood an eggy baby egg.
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
Are you sure? Them sorcerers from the caravan?
They'd be daft to come back. And as long as there's no sorcerers, there's no void woken. You're fine as long as you don't go wandering.
This town looks peaceful enough. Let's find out if looks deceive. What's this? I found something. poor unfortunate died just when he thought he was free. There are marks on his body. Something in the water got to him.
Never forget it.
That's it. The barrels and the chests. On the double. You too, Julian. Show 'em how it's done, man. Don't let up now. Keep hauling that cargo.
There's a lot of call for the junk you sell, then.
That's it.
Junk.
Barrels and the
Nothing
chests.
less than the
On the
wisdom
double.
of ancients and vapid fiction along the large helping of ham.
You too, Julian. Show 'em
If there's
how
no
it's
work for an honest dwarf like myself, the likes of you don't stand a chance, mate. Best not linger. Your lot tends to rile people up.
That's it. Barrels and the chests.
You'd swear the shark was smiling at you.
You too, Julian. Show 'em how it's done, man. Don't let up now. Keep hauling
Raspy
that
gusts
cargo.
of breath wheeze from the creature's badly mangled mouth as he lifts and drops cargo with automaton-like precision.
That's it. The barrels and the chests. On the double. Go on, you mute sacks of flesh. Put your backs into it. I'll not lose another day to the tide. The Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow with Dallas's breath. I'll...
The Magister stops, barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
Oh, but yours is not a stink like the one that surrounds us, spat from a dying sea. Yours is a scent that invites a question. Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods? Ah, you've met with what's left of Siva, have you? I'm so very glad you're familiar with my work.
He licks his lips. Dry flesh turns wet.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss. In that case, you'd better think very carefully about the next words that escape your stinking trap. I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need a sauce hound yapping at my side. There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth, that is to say, sauce. Best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. A would-be magister has to prove her killer instinct, after all. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods toss on dwarf-troubled waters, but they do. Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule? A beast of burden? But some defy that role. There are rats among them, dancing to their rat queen's tune. I've need of a rat catcher. Of course, I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will stay behind and be a good little parrot. Ask and he will answer.
Stay behind? But I've my orders. Same as you. Dallas.
Like I said, Julian is staying. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of stringing them up?
There's a moment of fleeting suspicion as his glove closes around the bones of your hand, but only a moment. He grins darkly.
How very heartwarming. One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. A stranger like you may run into troubles with them. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little faces. My signature will placate them without fail, I assure you. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The use of the gallows I pass on to you. The time has come, my stitched-lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
Left behind like a dog. Bah! 7 curses upon that ship.
You'd swear the shark was smiling at you. The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes, none the worse for wear, apparently, from the blast of magic that knocked him off his feet.
You! The damn recruit! I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't for you. Your meddling in Magister affairs had better be worth it.
Yes, I am very much aware. Wasn't my damned head that hit the floor back there.
Now answer me. Did you meet with a Magister caravan on your way into town?
The hour's growing late and I'm beginning to worry something might have gone wrong.
By the Bishop's bones, you saw it! Out with it, woman! What happened?
Voidwoken. That means Source was used. Which means some third party must have attacked first. And I've a fair idea who that might have been.
Raymond, that old goat. Always suspected there's more to the Driftwood Dwarves than meets the eye. Hate to admit it, but I think he may be right.
Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's Coast to attribute to bad luck. Magister ship sinking, weapons disappearing, and as you've seen, a caravan attacked and destroyed. Rumour has it the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. They've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour, sure, and hard workers too. Half of them are their queen's spies. Her eyes, her ears, her poison-pouring hands. You know what Queen Justinian is like, surely. A tyrant and a master strategist to boot. There's a local thug, Lohar. He runs an operation out of his hideout beneath the Black Bull Tavern. I suspect this man of being a spy for his queen.
It may be interesting to have a word with him. Find out what he's up to. Where I really want you to ferret around is Reaper's Bluffs. to the west of Driftwood.
It's wild territory, remote and hostile, where I believe the dwarves may have set up a base of operations away from prying eyes. Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working in behalf of Queen Justinia, you will be handsomely rewarded, I assure you. In that case, go forth and let the hunt commence!
In short, travel west in search of a dwarven base of operations in the treacherous Reaper's Bluffs.
Should any such place exist, it would be very opportune indeed. Can't describe it to you any plainly than that.
Look at you. You're all scaly.
The little boy looks at you. He picks his nose.
And got you a tail. That's disgusting. Don't be rude, Ben. She's a lizard. It's not our fault she's ugly. We're waiting for our friend. He went for a swim. He'll be back soon.
He went swimming all the way to Fort Happy.
Fort Joy?
That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's going to find his mum and bring her back. That's right.
I think he's an idiot. And when he gets back, I'm going to tell him so.
The water looks nice.
Joke's gone a bit long now.
Driftwood Fishworks.
I hope Joe doesn't smell when he's back.
Hackles raised, the dog barks at the sand built up beneath the building.
There's something not right, and that's wrong. It's under the house thing there, and it's bad. I can smell it. You be careful now. What's under there smells real bad. It smells evil.
That's close enough, Reptile. I thought you lizards were all hiding behind your Imperial walls. What are you doing in Driftwood? I'm someone investigating the disappearance of 4 Magisters. There's a sorcerer stalking these streets, an affront to our order. And much as I'd like to blame your scaled hide, you've only just arrived. Now, tell me, have you seen a man in a grey cloak, grey beard, carrying a satchel, perhaps? Damien, take it all. Where is the snake? Magister Carver will have our heads if we don't find him. It's vital that you report anything unusual. We must know. Is that clear? He arrived in Driftwood some days ago, dressed as a tinkerer. He bought and sold a few knickknacks. But we thought nothing of it until our brothers started vanishing. As soon as he knew we were onto him, he ran. We think he's hiding in here, but he's a canny one. Now, be on your way. Who knows where he could strike next?
I don't care if you tear this place apart plank by plank. We will find him.
You can't just charge in here and ransack my business.
There's a murder on the loose, and you're thinking about your business.
I have rights. You've no authority to storm in here like this. If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the Magisters.
A stick of bit. Oh, there, lizard. Reach for a weapon and I'll see you gutted, filleted and pickled. Now, I'm looking for someone. You might even know him. Grey cloak, grey beard, a satchel of books under one arm. Of course you haven't. Your kind would never rat out a sorcerer, would you? If I find you're hiding him from me, I'll cut off bits that won't grow back. If you see anything suspicious, report it immediately, skink. Honestly, he's a sorcerer dressed as a tinkerer. Our brothers started vanishing as soon as the tramp arrived in town. He fled into this stinking shed, but we'll find him again. We'll have our justice.
The Magister moves away to inspect a nearby pile of fish, but you can feel his eyes on you as you flex your claws. The dwarf peers at an expertly dissected fish, gently poking its innards with his knife.
Fascinating. Most fascinating. Oh my, I mean, no, what do you want?
The dwarf shakes his head with irritation before turning back to the fish.
You're blocking my light, go away. Nothing wrong with taking pride in your work.
The dwarf grimaces and points the tip of his knife at his handiwork.
Whatever's wrong with these fish is causing a lot of hardship for a lot of folk. I want to figure out what's happening to them, see if there's anything that can be done. Yes, as it happens. I need to see the effects of eating these fish firsthand, if you understand me. Wonderful. Now, there's 3 samples that I wish to learn more about. Care to choose?
The fish instantly churns your insides. You double over in pain. A sudden vivid sensation of floating in darkness assails you. There's something in there with you. Something. Hungry and corrupt. You can't breathe. You can't breathe. The dwarf suddenly drifts back into view, peering at you with fascination.
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts from your mouth and across the dwarf's boots. He doesn't even look displeased.
I see. Well, I'm sure it was nothing but a side effect of the fish. Speaking of which, I've learned a great deal from observing you. I owe you a great debt.
The dwarf puffs up his chest and proudly gestures to the fish.
The fish is indeed malignant. Lizards are affected by it in the same manner as other species. Thank you, but no. I can only allow for 1 specimen per volunteer, or my findings could become flawed. The fish you ate is known as yellow ridgeback. Quite a cunning breed, often used in concoctions to increase alertness. But this one, touched by the void itself. Who is to say how such a creature might alter an alertness mixture? Seek out somewhere that peddles alertness herb mixes. Adding these unique ridgebacks might make quite the impact. So, now my work must continue, as soon as I've got in my quota of fish, of course. Farewell, stranger.
Bugger off, I'm busy. Grisha's still the favourite. If I bet against him, I could win big. Or lose it all.
You see a man, well-fed and wealthy, but stress has lined his face and narrowed his waist. He tries to ignore your presence, fails. He sighs.
See here, scale skin. I'm very busy. The factory is crawling with magisters, and our shipments to Arks are held up. Time is money. Don't waste my money. What do you want? If that's some kind of riddle, I ain't about to play along. Now, unless you've got something on your mind... A murderer, or a sorcerer, or some other species of miscreant. Whichever it is, it has nothing to do with me, except that it's stopping me shipping my fish into Arks. Now, please. That's privileged information. I have a trade to protect. Not being human, You don't seem the type, no. The answer to your question is unsurprisingly a man in a house. A man in a house buys all the void-tainted fish I can send him.
That dark shadow crosses his face once more. He shivers.
Not that I've ever met the man. Not sure I want to, if I'm honest. Absolutely not. I don't give away sensitive information like that to anyone who just asks for it. And I don't keep it lying around, neither. That really is enough now. I'm asking you to leave. Good day. If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the Magisters. Then we can get them out, and you can get back to work.
What in the seven hells is a lizard doing here? Shouldn't you be in your empire, or stretched out on a rock in the sun? Gods, don't tell it to me. I don't want to know. We have our own troubles. We're looking for someone. A sorcerer that's been killing my brothers. Probably a friend of yours. Grey cloak, grey beard, acting suspiciously. Perhaps you've seen him. Blast! Well, if you do see anything odd, report it immediately. There is a foul creature lurking in one of these shadows, and we will find him. A sorcerer. He arrived dressed as a tinkerer, but then Magisters started disappearing. As soon as we asked him about it, he fled. Who knows what he's done with our divine brothers? Why else would he run? If he had nothing to hide, he would have nothing to fear. Besides, he was seen with the effects of one of our company. I dread to think how he came about them. We chased him to this factory, but lost him on the docks. Now, I have a patrol to complete. If you see anything, tell me.
The dwarf looks you up and down, a scowl of repulsion on his face. He mumbles something about dwarvish decency under his breath and turns away from you.
Decency, eh? Oh, I had me some decency back in the day. Days before the Reds, days of the divine, long gone. Glad to hear you say it. The day will come we'll overthrow 'em, you mark my words. Until then, I'll practice the art of gutting unspoiled fish. I had friends. Good friends. Not even dwarves, some of them. Reds put him on a ship, sailed him to Fort Joy. Ever heard of that place? Fort Joy? They send you there means you ain't never coming back. You've been there? Smack in the middle of the lion's den. Crikey! So you're a sorcerer then? In that case, you must know about the fugitive. That fella all those Reds are looking for. I mean, if he's a sorcerer too, you'll want to do right by him, won't you? Make sure they don't catch the poor bugger.
The dwarf leans in and begins whispering conspiratorially.
This fella runs along, right, sweating, panicking. Reds racing after him like hunting hounds. Hide in a barrel, you fool, I yelled. And what do you know? He did. Problem is, he's still in there. Been hours. Can't go nowhere, he can't, not with the Reds around.
He's here, somewhere. I know it. I can smell it. Tell me, have you anything to report? Damien, take it all. Where is the snake? Magister Carver will have our heads if we don't find him. It's vital that you report anything unusual. We must know. Is that clear? He arrived in Driftwood some days ago, dressed as a tinkerer. He bought as soon as he knew. Now,
You'd swear the shark was smiling at you. The dwarf reaches into a barrel and pulls out a fish. His knife glides through the scales, crimson guts spilling out in its wake. The innards fall to the floor, landing in a pool of dark bile. You'd expect fish to smell, but these reek.
You see the nose on my face, don't you? I bloody know it smells, and I don't care as long as it sells. And sells it does. Somehow. But the boss has found a buyer for this lot. It's to be shipped off to Arks in the next wagon, if you'd believe it.
He runs his knife through another fish and flicks the blade, sending a shower of guts to the ground.
I'd say your guess is as good as mine, except I got the sense not to ask any questions. Now you slither on, lizard. I've enough scales to deal with.
The dwarf turns back to his work, slicing and disemboweling fish after fish as the blood and black bile mix and swirl around his boots. Looking at the barrel, you see that someone has scrawled Black House on it in paint. You cast your eyes around to see that every barrel headed to Arks has the same inscription.
Here, leave them barrels alone. I told you to take a hike, so scram!
Behind the containers, the fish in one of the barrels shifts slightly.
Please, you have to help me. The Magisters have gone mad. This isn't the time for jokes. The Magisters want me dead. Please, you have to help. Please help me. I don't want to die. I don't want them to take me. I have no idea. I only arrived in town a few days ago. I've sold a few items to Grandmaster Kem in Arx and stopped off here on my way to Scythiel. I was just sitting in the tavern, minding my own business, and the Magister started screaming at me. I ran and, well...
You hear a quiet sob from the fish.
Why is this happening? I didn't do anything.
There's a moment of silence from within the barrel. Some of the fish seem to shift uncomfortably.
I may have been studying some new scrolls I bought. They might have been, well, they called for sauce. But that doesn't mean I had anything to do with the disappearances. I'm a tinkerer. I fix things for a living. I would never hurt anyone. I don't know. It could be anyone in the tavern. None of them have any love for the Magisters. Please, all I know is it wasn't me. I just need to get out of Driftwood. I can't risk being seen. But if you can get out of town, I can escape to Arx. Please, I'll do anything. Just don't let them see me. Don't let them find me. Damn it, hurry up. I can feel the fish oozing everywhere. Okay. Go if you have to, but please be quick. If the Magisters even think that I'm here, well, we'll all be sorry. And? What news?
You lying? You said you'd get me out.
If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the magisters. Then we can get them out, and you can get back to work.
You lying? You said you'd get me out. I'll comb this place plank by plank. I'll find him.
If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the magisters. Out, and you can get back to work.
I'm Dallas.
It doesn't make sense. I'm missing something. Useless. Useless. Might as well have rotted in here.
Be wary. That hound has a nose for something.
You lying? You said you'd get me out. You said you'd get me out.
Always the sorcerer.
Get back to work.
Wait, what is this? You lying? You said you'd get me out. Wait, what is this? You lying? You said you'd get me out. Probably safe. At last, I can breathe again. At last! I was sure I'd die in that wretched place. You have my thanks. If not for you, I probably would have been found, gutted, and salted. I've been asking myself the same thing. I was just enjoying some stew in the tavern, reading over my latest acquisitions, and then I was surrounded by magisters.
He hands you a damp scroll. In between the fish guts, it seems to give details of how to cast a powerful source spell.
Here, take it. That's the scroll that caused all this. I barely got out of there with my life. It must have belonged to one of their missing friends. They nearly lynched me then and there. They wouldn't listen when I tried to tell them that I got it from the cook. I thought she was an idiot selling it so cheap. Then again, I'm the dolt who ended up in a barrel. But if she has Magister artifacts, she must be the one they're looking for. I swear,
Once I get to Arx, I'm going to have the bath of my life.